Today, Intel GPUs are catching up to AMD. GPU prices are dropping even lower. AMD's new monster CPUs, Nvidia's 3090 is obsolete at this, and Nvidia is in big trouble against Intel's own game-changing tech. Welcome everyone to Gamer Melt. First up for today, it looks like Intel is actually caught up with AMD's market share of discrete GPUs, or is at least close. The story comes from a report by John Petty Research on the GPU market in Q4 of 2022. In it, they found that while Nvidia still makes up a vast majority of discrete GPU sales, Intel is now at 9% right alongside AMD. So this means things like ARC GPUs, etc. Of course, keep in mind that this is discrete GPUs for desktop, notebooks, and embedded PCs, and Intel certainly sells a ton of notebooks. Plus, according to John Petty Research, that 9% comes from Intel's financial statement and ASPs, meaning it comes from the number of units sold to places like retailers, not the actual number sold to consumers. But as long as most of those are sold, it'll still be fairly close. Regardless, this is really impressive given Intel only just moved into the discrete GPU market. Time will tell if they can keep the momentum up. But first, with new CPUs and GPUs coming out, make sure you're ready with Meld Alerts, the completely free sign up that sends you an email when new PC hardware is releasing. Because let's be honest, keeping up with all the new PC hardware releases can be tricky. And don't worry, I'll only tell you important stuff like CPUs, GPUs, etc. Plus I'll send you great deals as those come out as well. That way you won't have to worry when new PC hardware is releasing. So yeah, it's completely free at meldalerts.com and it only takes you a couple seconds. So make sure to check that out below. Next up for today, GPU prices are dropping further and further. Specifically, AMD's newest 7900 XT recently dropped to just $800, which is a full $100 lower than MSRP, even though the GPU was only just recently released. As you can see right here on Newegg, the ASRock 7900 XT Phantom Gaming is currently selling for $799.99, and even the reference model is selling for $819.99 on Amazon. To top it off, at overclockers.com, you can get the card for £100 off at £799.99. And as of the writing of this video, they're all still up for these prices. Basically, this doesn't look like some one-off deal. Instead, it seems like AMD's new card is getting a price cut just about everywhere. And if you're interested, I'll have some affiliate links to it down in the description below. It won't cost you anything more, and it helps the channel out. Next up, AMD's new monster CPUs are on the way. In a new update to CPU-Z, you can see that they added preliminary support for AMD's Storm Peak platform, which is supposed to be AMD's Ryzen Threadripper 7000 CPUs. And of course, like the desktop platform, Threadripper 7000 should offer support for both PCI Express 5.0 and DDR5 memory, both of which will definitely be important for workstation PCs. Not only that, but according to the most recent leak, the HEDT platform will come in support for 4-channel memory, 64 PCI Express Gen 5 lanes, 8 PCI Express Gen 3 lanes, and overclocking support, while the WS platform will offer 8-channel memory support, 128 PCI Express 5 lanes, 8 PCI Express Gen 3 lanes, and no overclocking support. One issue with AMD's next-gen parts is that they will apparently require a new socket, which is a pretty sharp contrast from what AMD was promising with their TRX 40 and WRX 80 platforms. With that said, the most recent rumors point to a Q3 release, more specifically in September, so AMD may be trying to hold off to keep the socket relevant for a bit longer. At the end of the day, AMD's Threadripper 7000 parts are definitely something to look forward to. Next up, there's a really interesting story that actually makes Nvidia's RTX 3090 obsolete. In a review of AMD's newest 7950 X3D from Gizmodo, they noticed something very odd. Originally, they decided to run their gaming benchmarks with a 3090 to keep their benchmarks in line with previous reviews. But as they began testing, they noticed that their 7950 X3D wasn't doing all that great compared to the regular 7950X. In fact, the regular 7950X even beat the X3D variant in some games. After more tests and speaking with AMD, they realized that the reason was because at 1080p, the GPU was the bottleneck. See, CPU reviews are typically done at 1080p with a powerful GPU, so you ensure the GPU isn't the bottleneck. As you move up in resolution to say 4K, you don't see much of a difference between any modern CPU because the GPU becomes the system's bottleneck. But even at 1080p, the 3090 wasn't fast enough to keep up with the new 7950 X3D, meaning if you're big on high FPS gaming at 1080p and you're planning to get one of AMD's newest X3D parts, you may want to ensure you have something faster than a 3090. And given what we're seeing with the simulated 5800 X3D, this issue could get even worse for the 3090. And lastly for today, just days after Nvidia officially released their game-changing new upscaling tech for streamed video, Intel has apparently released their own version. At least it's already enabled in certain Intel GPUs within Chrome. With that said, it's not official yet and it requires some manual changes, but get this, it actually works in Intel's 10th gen and newer integrated GPUs, meaning it apparently doesn't require any kind of AI tech for it to work. With that said, it does work in Intel's Arc GPUs as well, but basically it's there. And while it's not official yet, users were able to turn it on and test it out. And as you can see, it's really not bad. It can definitely make a difference. Let's just say Nvidia should be worried, given this works on integrated GPUs. So while that does it for today, what do you think about all this new upscaling? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.